What's up, Orange fans? Here with another edition of What's Up. This time I'm here with Koda Martin, big-time Cuse offensive lineman. Koda, how you doing today?
Doing great, doing great. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. So, Koda, first off, we're going to start talking a little bit about your background, where you grew up, and a little bit about your family.
Yeah, so I grew up, most of my childhood I spent in Mayville, Texas, south of Houston. My dad was a high school football coach. We really moved all across Texas growing up, but that was my childhood. I was a ball boy. I was always around football, around the film room, and just kind of hanging around. And I loved growing up around football and was kind of born into it. So,
coming from Texas, I'm sure football is a major part of your life. Can you break down kind of who your big inspirations were or influences on your life? Growing up and becoming a major Division I college football player.
Yeah, definitely. So my dad would probably be number one. He was always there for me, and like I said, raised me around football. He was a college football player. He actually walked on at UTEP and earned a scholarship as a tight end, and so I always had a lot of respect for his work ethic and the way that he did things. He held me to a higher standard. Being a coach's kid, everybody's watching, saying, is he playing because he's a coach's kid? And so you really have to work hard to prove that. No, I'm playing because I'm the best player on the field. I'm the best player at this position, and I think that I need to be out there. And so you really got to work day in and day out, almost harder than everybody else, and just be sure that you're earning your spot. And so I don't know. My dad definitely had a big influence on my work ethic, and the type of guy that he is really affected me. He's a strong Christian. He met my mom through FCA, going to college at UTEP, and so him and my mom both just raised me to be a believer in Christ, and just to live my life in a way that glorifies God, and that I worked hard with all my heart as if unto the Lord. And so both of those, my mom and my dad both. So.
Awesome. I know, just like the thing you talked about, you kind of portray those things every day. You talk about being a believer and stuff like that, and you carry yourself and show that, so that's awesome. You came here as a grad transfer this year from Texas A&M. Could you kind of, tell the Orange fans a little bit about, the differences in the programs, and kind of if there's anything you missed from there, and then also if there's anything in Cuse that, you like a little bit better than in A&M?
Yeah, definitely. There's really not a ton of huge differences coming up here. I thought there might be, but college football is college football. We have all the resources that we need to be successful here. We've got a ridiculous weight room. Our food's awesome here. There's really been some stuff here that I was really pleased about and excited about. Eating here, I was like, man, this is some new taste, some stuff that I didn't have there. So that's been good. But overall, I think that college football is college football. When you step on the grass, it's about who wants that game, and so there really wasn't a ton of differences. We have all the resources we need here, and it's been good. But definitely got some food here that I didn't have there. There's some northerner foods up here going out to eat around Syracuse that I wasn't used to, and some good stuff.
So now we're going to go into the wits end of the interview, and this is a little personal subject for you. So you talked about your parents meeting through FCA, and I know you met your wife through FCA. Can you kind of break down who your wife is?
Yeah, so my wife is Jasmine Martin now. She was Jasmine Babers when I met her at the time. We actually met in our nutrition center at A&M in the sandwich line. So we were just ordering a sandwich. Most people don't talk in the cafeteria, up there. It's all athletes up there, and most people just ordering sandwiches. But just kind of thought she was cute, struck up some conversation, just got to know her a little bit there. Nothing crazy, just her name and kind of where she was from. And she didn't really have an explanation. She said she was from all over, and I kind of tried to dig a little bit deeper, and then realized she was a coach's kid, and I was a coach's kid too. And so that was just kind of our first connection. But then really got to know each other through FCA, and got closer and closer through that. We were both on the leadership team, and like I said, my parents had met through FCA, and my mom was a volleyball player, my dad was a football player, and us too, me and my wife. And so it's kind of cool, just the same type of connections there, and just our faith, everything really lined up with that. She's just easy to talk to, easy to get along with, and she was an All-American volleyball player. She's 6'1", and as soon as we were talking about getting married and got engaged, our coaches were both like, we're going to recruit your kids someday, so and we don't even have kids yet, but definitely looking forward to that chapter down the road. And I don't know, generations on generations of college athletes that love Jesus, so that's good stuff.
That's awesome. So can you kind of, marrying the coach's daughter and specifically our coach, Coach Babers, can you kind of break down, what it was like the first time you met Coach Babers and then, later down the line when you asked to marry his daughter, kind of how those conversations went?
Yeah, definitely. So the first time I met Coach Babers was after a volleyball game, and we actually didn't even sit together. I hadn't met him, so I sat with my friends, and he sat in the parent section. So after the game, I walked around the volleyball court, and he kind of stared me down the whole way. It was definitely awkward. Once I got up there, I was nervous. He definitely quizzed me, had all kind of questions about the type of guy I was, and just trying to get a feel for who I was and what I was about. What definitely wasn't probably one of the most difficult interviews I've been through. He's been interviewed plenty, and he's been around football players enough to have some solid questions that really made me think, and so it was definitely an interesting first meeting. But with time, he got to know me more, and then I ended up coming up here I think 2 Christmases ago, and just talking to him about marrying his daughter and getting his blessing on that, and the rest is history. So it's pretty crazy, but.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, I mean, you would say, dealing with him wasn't a very scary experience. It was just kind of a, get to know you're a good guy type deal.
Yeah, definitely. So anytime a dad has their daughter dating somebody that they think is getting pretty serious, they're going to kind of interrogate you a little bit. So that's kind of what it was at first. But just as time went by, I think that things just got better and better. And he's definitely a man that I respect and a coach that I respect. And so I'm thankful to be on this team and a part of this program, and it's really a cool situation for both of our families to be in. So
that's awesome. I kind of helps build my confidence. Maybe one day I could be your brother-in-law, join the Babers family. No, just kidding, Coach Babers.
Put in good words. Yeah, that's good.
Appreciate it. Orange fans, this is Koda Martin. Thanks a lot. See you on the field this Saturday.